I would spend the whole night just editing content, man. That's just how much I loved it. And just remember that at the time, I was volunteering, right? Like I was not getting paid. I was doing it because I loved it.
Welcome to Food for Thought with Thabang. This is a space where I share my business struggles, failures, successes, and strategies. I believe that together you and I are limitless. Let us start, grow, and thrive together.
Hello everyone, my name is Thabang. I'm the founder and CEO of Marvelous Media. Don't let the word CEO and founder scare you. It simply means I've hustled and I've started my own business. Okay, let me just tell you a bit about me, where I come from, just a brief background of who I am. 2008, I matriculated, graduated from high school. I was so excited because I thought an opportunity had come for me to live my dreams. You know, I thought I was gonna go to varsity. It was just gonna be like in the movies, man. You know, you see beautiful things here and there. It was far from it, right? I went there and my teachers had recommended that I study engineering. Like they told me that engineering, you're gonna have a lot of money. Just go into engineering. You're good with maths and science, you're gonna kill it. I was like, okay, I'm gonna be an engineer. Didn't bother to do any research. I went there and I studied engineering. I knew within the first 3 months that, man, I hate this thing, right? Like it was something I just hated completely. I knew I didn't belong there, right? But for the fear of shame, right? Like I've just started at varsity. Now I have to go back home, right? Like people are gonna laugh at me and be like, what did you think I was doing, right? So fear of judgment, I feared what people are gonna say, decided to stick it out. Did my first year. I hated every moment, right? Like I did my second year. And then it just hit me, man. I decided that this is not for me. I wanted to do something completely different. And so I decided to go back home. And that's when my journey started. Went back home. You know, I was kind of lost, man. Didn't know, was disappointed, thought like I was a failure. Like I just didn't know what to do, right? And so when I went back home, I met this amazing man who's my pastor, right? Like the church had, you know, they had equipment, they had a laptop, they had a printer, they had a camera, but there was no one who was creating the content, right? So, I mean, it just gave me that responsibility. Like he didn't know me at all, right? Like it was like, man, we need someone who's gonna do this for us. Can we just try? I was like, I've got nothing to lose, man. And I'm home anyway. And so I started creating content for our church. Like at the beginning, I was just doing it because they had asked me to. Didn't see if there was any future in it, right? Like, but then, you know, the more I started working on those projects, the more I liked it, man. I was like, man, this is kind of fun. Like I'm telling stories through the camera, right? Like I'm creating content, like I'm editing. The more I did it, the more I fell in love with what I was doing, right? And so that's how my passion for creating content started. Like if I had not taken the chance and, you know, just stepped out in faith and did something I had never done before. Just to put things into perspective for you, right? Like at high school, I had failed computer applications technology. So there were no indications that I was going to be working with computers and, you know, creating content and editing. That was just something that was not in my ballpark, right? I simply thought I was the maths and science type of guy. But here I was, man, you know, creating content, editing my church's videos. I mean, I was falling more and more in love with the whole process. Let me just fast forward to 7 years later. I did that for 7 years, man. I would spend the whole night just editing content, man. That's just how much I loved it. And just remember that at the time, I was volunteering, right? Like I was not getting paid. I was doing it because I loved it and I enjoyed doing it. But the more I worked the more I realized that there's potential. There's a potential career for me in this space because I have found myself, I found something that I enjoy doing. Why not just, you know, go all in? And so 7 years later, about 2018, after I'd been editing for 7 years, I decided to go back to school. At the same time I went to school, I also started my company, right? Like Marvelous Media. That is how it was born. As I was busy creating content, I began to realize that like there's a huge gap. I saw in my area that like, businesses were not taking their marketing seriously, right? And at this time now, I could, shoot and edit videos. I could do websites, I could do posters. Like I was well-rounded in the space of digital media. So I decided, okay, these guys are not taking their businesses seriously. I saw that as an opportunity for me. There was a gap, like people were creating just the crappiest content you could ever find, man. Even brands that like were big in my township, they were just creating crappy stuff. And so I saw that as a gap, that maybe I can just, start my own business and see where that's gonna take me. And so that's just how Marvelous Media was born, right? And then like in 2018, we started Marvelous Media. We struggled to get business, like quite a lot. Like it was tough for us to get business, right? Like we know what it's like to be destitute and not know where you're gonna get your next client. That for us was the biggest challenge when we started out. But like we just, kept on doing it because, when you love something, you love it. So we struggled to get business. We were getting gigs here and there, nothing consistent. We were just exactly like freelancers. We didn't know like when our next paycheck would come, how are we gonna get the next business and all those sort of things. But the thing about us is that whenever we got an opportunity to work with, anyone, we just make sure that like whatever opportunity we get, we're gonna make sure that we use it. And that's how we began to build our reputation, right? So then I had opportunities to work with the University of Johannesburg. We covered some of the events. I've worked with the multimedia department, the Department of Commercial Accounting, the School of Tourism and Hospitality, and the Departments of Art and Culture at the University of Johannesburg. And that's a story for another day, but those are the brands that we've worked with. We've covered a super sport event, Varsity Cup, for university students. And now, like the past 6 months, things have been getting much better for us. We've been able to get some consistent business. Now we've landed a client, our first major client. Not major in the terms of the brand name. They are huge in our area. Like they've been here for about 11 years, right? So like they know their stuff. But now we've been able to tie them down to a monthly contract. So we have a monthly, income that we can use to like further, pursue our other business ideas, which are many. And so guys, what I'm trying to say to you is that I am just like you, right? I am no business expert. I've struggled to get clients, and only in the last few months have I figured a way of how we can just get consistent business. And we've been able to identify opportunities that we can just go into those spaces and take over. I've been in this industry for 10 years, right? Like 10 years is a long time for me to be doing what I'm doing. So I might not be an expert when it comes to business, but when it comes to creating content, when it comes to web design, like we have mastered those skill sets. So we're starting this channel with the hope that you will grow with us. We want to build a community of guys that are interested in growing, right? Like are interested in growing. We don't make excuses. Like we don't want people who are gonna blame the government and blame situations and all that sort of stuff, right? Like we just wanna take control and keep our own destiny in our own hands. So if you're interested in content that's gonna talk about how to create your brand, how to start, how to grow, and how to thrive, we'd like for you to join us. If you feel like you'd be interested in such content, currently we're working on a course that we'll be releasing once we reach 1,000 subscribers. We're gonna teach you guys how to create a landing page from start, right? From the psychology, our thinking behind it, to the actual tutorial itself, and how you guys can just go out there, start using that and start making money for yourself. If there's anything we have learned from this COVID-19 is that all businesses need to be online. The strongest brands are the ones that are gonna survive this pandemic, and small businesses really need to partake in the online market. Businesses that were active online are not as hardly hit as your brick and mortar businesses. And so those are the type of skill sets that we want to impart to you guys. It's our way of giving back. I've learned quite a bit from many YouTubers myself. To mention a few: Peter McKinnon, Mike Logg, Sean Frangella. I can't forget Andrew Kramer, right? Like the master of After Effects. And so those guys are guys that I learned from. And I just want to give back as well and create a community where we can all grow together. Just, you know. And so if you want to start your own digital agency, if you're a solopreneur, if you want to learn skill sets that will help you, you know, you can use as a side hustle, then this is the channel for you. Hi guys, if you like our content, please subscribe. You'll find the button somewhere here. Come closer. Let me show them. Come closer. You'll find it somewhere here. Just make sure you find it, but you'll find the button. Like, comment, subscribe. Let's build a community. Cheers, guys.